In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com. In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.
All right, welcome, my friends. It's Friday. It's another Startup Circle space wins for the week, and happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. Good to see you, Timo, Andy, Jerry, Antonio, Brandon. Always great to see Ronan's on the stage here. So thanks, guys, for being here. Shout out to Timo for adding that video to the website. So thank you so much for that, Timo. Um, and yeah, just wishing everyone a great Friday. It's going to be a great discussion today. Today's space is sponsored by Play. Play is an AI ads powered platform. And let me get a link for the landing page that I put together for Play. And yeah, Timo, one of these days I got to add it to the website, a new page. But you know that's for another day. That's not a priority right now. So, but yeah, welcome, Timo. How's it going, man? How's it going? Is it snowing over there?
No, it's not. It's pretty weird. It's like +5 centigrade, so it's been a dark December. Kind of like November is fighting back and not letting the snow come in. But yeah, it gets dark around 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. It's pretty darn short day. The sun rises around like 9 o'clock, so it's pretty much like 6 hours of sunlight if it ever shows up. So interesting time. Usually I enjoy snow because it kind of makes everything a bit lighter and whatnot. But uh, yeah, I will share the wins and whatnot later. I do have to drive now, so I'll be just a listening and pushing buttons type of co-host for a bit. But I'll hop on. I'll put my hand up when I'm back on the surface.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Yeah, Timo used to be a snowboarder like myself, so that's another common interest we had, and yeah, that's interesting. It's not snowing over there yet, so well, enjoy it while you can, because I'm sure it'll start dumping soon. So, but yeah, welcome, Andy. Good morning. How you doing? And shout out to Josh Hellman, ITT in the building here. What's going on, Josh? Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, missing the ITT, man. Missing the ITT fix. So, looks like it's gonna be back on for the first of the year, so that's awesome. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know Josh, he's the founder of the ITT Innovators Think Tank. It's one of the first spaces that I started going to for startups, all around, startups, people that are building, and yeah. So make sure you're following Josh. He's a great guy. So yeah, good to see you, Josh. Happy Friday. Andy, over to you. How's it going? Morning.
Well, good morning. Love Fridays. Hey, Josh, what's going on? Hope getting close to a year with your little one there. I think maybe a little over a year now. But anyway, happy Friday. Love Fridays. Every day you wake up's a good day. So, what are the wins for the week? let's see, we've got lots of things going on. I have revised my content system. I've identified that some other really, kind of interesting technical things. I finished my launch, so I completed my first launch this week. So Cyber Monday was Monday, and I finished my first PLF style Jeff Walker launch, and I got some sales, so that was good. It wasn't like it was a total zero. That was fantastic. Total zero would have sucked, but it still would have given me feedback. So we just did that, and we're moving into some other things. So yeah, it's wins for the week. Wake up, suck air, go to work. It's a good day.
Yeah, breathing and billing, as Andy would say. So yeah, it's a good day. I closed a deal yesterday for, agency slash fractional CMO. So that's good. So yeah. Um it's been a good week, and it's all about the consistency part. We do these spaces every day, Monday through Friday, 6:45 a.m. Pacific. So just really modeling and leading the way, and forced entrepreneurship is becoming a trend. Let me tell you, I'm seeing it all over my LinkedIn, especially some, like, even some biotech companies, did some layoffs, just this week. So yeah, I mean, forced entrepreneurship, and we got a new member too. Just by hearing me in spaces, he signed up and he wants to start his own business. He needs some guidance, and so yeah, like, look, even if you have a full-time job, I encourage everyone to do their own thing, right? It's really a terrible feeling when you're working at a job, you get laid off, and then you apply to 1,800 jobs, and you finally get a job. Like, that's really discouraging. So I encourage, and I've never shut down my marketing agency, even while I worked full time. I never did. Why? Because I always had clients. I always had people who trusted me with their marketing. So whatever your niche is, whatever your high income skill is, whatever you want to build, you got to build it, right? You have to build it on the side. And then ideally, once you get your income to and your revenue to about 80% of what you would need, then it's time to go all in on your own thing, right? So, this is a big trend. You want to go viral on TikTok, you want to post 20 videos a day for 2 years, like Jim, the lazy Canadian, and make 30,000 a month. That's doable. That's entirely doable. He's given us the playbook multiple times. So, but yeah, it's good to see the Revenue Ronin community growing. We've had over 30 members join, and so that's going well. And yeah, welcome to the stage, Will. Let me get Patricia up here as well. And please like and repost the space, guys. Would really appreciate it. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna get to my wins at the end. I like to hear all of your guys' wins first. So speaking of wins and winning, I want to go right to Will, and then we'll go to Patricia, because Will's been winning, and he gave me a really glowing testimonial that's getting a lot of great feedback. I even sent it to my mom and my dad, and they were like really blown away. They're like, "Wow, that's pretty powerful, Justin." Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, they know I do spaces every day. They know I'm, building, and so that was good to have some support from mom and dad. My biggest fans. So, but yeah, Will, over to you, man.
Well, thank you, Justin. I feel like I'm skipping the line here, but
Hey, membership has benefits, Will.
So wins for the week. Well, first of all, we've got some external wins, which are from the harvest of previous seeds, and then this week I've sown some seeds, which I'm very happy with. So this week we passed our 100 members for the community. So we hit our 2025 goal early. We're actually at 115 now with 9 requests in the queue. So we might actually get to 120. But the thing that really solidified this was we've had perfect congruence, 100% congruent inputs from all of our members. And I had a brilliant conversation with Andy last night, and Jim, the lazy Canadian, as well, helping me with the positioning. And what I've learned is that I'm not actually selling accountability, because consistency is basically the output. And Andy was kind enough to give me some really helpful advice. So the big win for me is I'm clearer now on who I serve and what I do than ever before. And I was already pretty clear, but putting it into words has been a massive win. So that's my big win. We also got the star on school. We're officially a top 1% community, which is wonderful. But that I view as a harvest. That is not an immediate celebration. The celebration is who I'm being. I'm being someone who is incredibly clear on the journey and the mission. And we're seeing in real time entrepreneurs come in and be consistent with their inputs every single day. That's the real victory. So yeah, that's my wins for the week. It's been a great week. Back to you, Justin.
Yeah, awesome stuff, Will. And I'd chalk up another win for our call yesterday. It was pretty encouraging to collaborate with you, and we have some new members like Brandon and Trey Shard as well that came in through the collaboration between Unshakable Ronins. And there's going to be more of that going on, guys. For me and Will are cooking up a little something else for you guys. So stay tuned for that. That's all I'm going to say. And yeah, 2026 really to be unstoppable. Once you have the inner game mastered and the outer game mastered, you will be unstoppable. Like you will absolutely be unstoppable. And 90 days, and all the greats have said it. Kobe says it. Like all the greats have said it. Like 90 days. Like you stick to something for 90 days every day, even weekends. No excuses. You commit. You hold yourself accountable. You raise your standard of expectations for your community, yourself, and you will level up. Believe me. So you will just be in an environment where you cannot fail, literally. So yeah, good stuff, Will. Thanks again for let me get Kevin up here. Thanks again for that testimonial. Really appreciate it. And yeah, it's gonna be a great, 2026, but we're not done with December yet, right, guys? We got plenty of month left to make an impact. Typically people, relax a bit during the holiday, not Ronins and not the startup circle folks. Like we're we're gonna finish strong. We're gonna close some more deals. We're gonna launch some more campaigns. We're gonna launch some more offers. We're gonna transform some more businesses, transform some more lives. Like that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing. So, but yeah, thanks again, Will. Let's check in with Kevin. Kevin, good morning. How's it going?
Hey, good morning, startup crew. Hope everybody's having a good one. Happy Friday. I meant to come in here a little earlier. Kind of lost track of time, but happy to see you guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Wins for the week. I mean, we've done it. I mean, we can't believe that we made it through Friday. It's unbelievable. This year is almost over. It's the first week of December. It's the date, actually, the 5th. I got my brother's birthday coming up in about 2 days, so I'll probably be a little MIA for that day. Just spend a little time with the family, with the brothers, and, just hang out for the year. And, that's just kind of it. Just getting things done, getting fulfillment done. Had a little bit of a scare the other day. Justin knows what I'm talking about. Everything's been managed, thank God, but we got through it. We got in contact with people that were needed, and we got it resolved. So it wasn't a huge loss, but at the same time, that amount of money was still a decent amount. But we're good now. Hope everybody's doing fine. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. And yeah, the Beehive, the newsletter stuff is going great. Subscribers are growing. I even set up all the pixel tracking for Facebook ads, for Google ads, and yeah, we're doing some boosting. So yeah, it's growing. Like it's incredible the growth of the newsletter. And I kick myself for not, signing up on that plan sooner, but it is what it is. Like timing is everything, right? So, but yeah, great to have you here. Kevin, shout out to Christelle as well. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Let's jump over to Patricia. Patricia, how's it going?
It's going well, Justin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too. I'd say my wins for this week were a lot of internal stuff, Will knows, but also I got through a major strategy call with one of the leading people that I trust in the influencer marketing field, and we sat down. We had a great 2-hour chat. We've still got 2 more hours to talk. on a later date. And I've got a whole roadmap of things to work on. And there's so much that she gave me that is so valuable that I'm like, okay, this is almost a little too much. But, that's kind of why I go to her, because she just kind of throws everything. She goes, oh, here, do this. Oh, here, you can do this too. Here, let's do this. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I am one person, but I will get through it and it will be fantastic. And she also taught me a really, really good lesson, because I always want things to look pretty and perfect and polished, and because I think that's how a royal blogger should look, right? But she showed me a couple of websites and was like, look at these. They look like absolute crap, and they are pulling in 3.4 million a month. I was like, okay, I don't need to look so perfect. I just need to ship, and to I can always worry about making it look pretty on the weekends. I can just work during the week, right? So I think that's been a big thing for me. Also remembering or letting myself be reminded that I am human. I can only do so much, because I ran up against a medical appointment that physically drained me for like a day and a half afterwards. And I've learned to just kind of forgive myself and do the MVAs, go touch the back wall, go do the tiniest thing, and keep moving. And Justin, I need to connect with you in regards to the thing that's coming in January. So if you can hit me up on a DM later, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, sounds good. And yeah, congratulations, Patricia. So I want to highlight a couple good points you made. So number one, if there's somebody already, at the level that's you're striving to be at or progress and you're modeling that, that's entirely powerful, because that mentorship is going to help accelerate. This is why people hire personal trainers, right? Or coaches, because they want to level up quicker. They want to know what, that person has done, and then some tips for you and how you can apply it to your business, and that will accelerate you quicker. So that's huge. And yeah, I mean, ideally we would want it to look very pretty. We want it to be polished. We want it to be perfect. But the reality is, like, just like you said, just ship it, right? Take that next minimum viable action and just ship it, and then you can always refine it later. And yeah, some of the more not so aesthetically pleasing websites, they may not look, very good, but they're bringing in tons of revenue. So you got to follow and model like what works, and you can always refine that later. But the point is, it doesn't have to look perfect, to your point. So
The one she showed me is a name everybody would know if I said it, but it looks like absolute shit. And yet she's like, it's pulling in 3.4 million a month. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, good stuff. Well, thanks for checking in here, Patricia. Always great to see you. And yeah, I would love to hear from Antonio and Brandon if you guys are available. Feel free to grab the mic. Also, AVR, shout out to you. Good to see you. Jerry, Butterfly 311 is in the building as well. Good to see you. Always great. Happy Friday to you as well. And everyone else down below, please like and repost the space. Would really appreciate it. And yeah, oh, there's Jim, Lazy Canadian. Would love to hear from Jim for his wins of the week. And Antonio was quite the star yesterday on the space, on Christelle's space. So so welcome, Antonio. How's it going, man? Happy Friday.
Hey, Justin. Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me. Yeah, happy Friday. Yeah, I mean, just closing out the week, finishing up the newsletter, right? I think, my wins for the week is I finally took y'all's advice and started the newsletter, and I've been having a blast with it, actually. I'd never really been one to read newsletters from anyone. But now I'm reading everyone's that I'm subscribed to, and chatting back in emails, and that's a completely new experience. But no, I'm loving it, and yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for checking in here, Antonio. And yeah, really loving your newsletter as well. And yeah, if you would have asked me like, 2 years ago, like, hey, could you write your way to wealth? I knew a lot of people were doing that online, right? I knew a lot of people were doing that. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I love writing. I've always been, good at writing. I love writing. And I even, I remember back in college in one of my operations classes, my teacher called on me and he's like, "Hey, Justin, can you stand up and read to the class what an A paper sounds like?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So, I mean, I was in business class. So, yeah, I've always, loved writing and yeah, we literally can write our way to wealth now. We literally can. You can post videos like Jim, 10 videos a day. You can post videos your way to wealth. You can write your way to wealth. And, everything stems from the newsletter, right? Is just getting that email address and adding value, of course, and just building that relationship with people via email. And when you have an omni-channel approach, omni-channel, what does that mean? That means when you're communicating with people via newsletter, via spaces, via social media, via in person, via phone, via text, you have all these touch points. What does that do? That really moves people, right? They have a deeper connection with you. And then, ideally, people know you, like you, trust you. They're more inclined to do business with you. And whatever products and services you have, that's how you can, start to move the needle and move your bank account. So yeah, go ahead, Andy.
I learned something new today or yesterday, and it was about the difference between Instagram and TikTok. Instagram serves your content to your followers first, and then others if your followers like it. But TikTok serves your content to the algorithm, and it's almost always others first before your followers. So you get the follower fatigue if you post 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 or 100 videos on Instagram. You're going to get, people are going to ghost follow you. They're like, yeah, okay, I'll follow you, but I'll just skip your stuff. But on TikTok, it sends it to other people first all the time. So the bottom line is more quality on Instagram because the 4, 5, 6, 7 posts will end up in your followers. But TikTok, crank out as much as you want because it's going to go to other people first before your followers.
Yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, the algorithm on TikTok, and I've tested this out too. So I've created some videos. Well, my VA created them. I didn't create them, but my VA created a bunch of videos, in Canva for the Revenue Ronin, and I tried to post them, throughout the day like 10 times, like Jim teaches us. And then it flagged it as like AI. And I even did say like, hey, this is AI, but then it flagged it and it's like, hey, because this is very similar and it's AI. It was basically the same music. It was the same imagery and branding and template, just different quotes, but it flagged it. And so I couldn't post all 10 videos. So just be careful. Like you may run across these limitations as you're doing this. But the point is, ideally, the format that works best right now is user generated content with like the phone like selfie style, like those work really well, right? Those work really well. And even some of the AI stuff is getting flagged. It can go viral, but you just have to be more sporadic in when you're posting. So yeah, that's been my experience. I just wanted to share that. And let's get Yvonne up here. And thank you so much, Yvonne, and everyone else who reposted the space. Really appreciate it. And yeah, please like and repost the space. Would really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, Andy, did you want to add something else before we go to Yvonne and Jim?
No, I was just putting my hand down.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Yvonne, how's it going? Good morning. Happy Friday. Great to have you here.
Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm just here to kind of sink in, show some support, and show up for you guys.
Yeah, thank you. 80% of success is just showing up, right? 80% of success. So, yeah, always great to see you here, Yvonne. Thanks for being here. And yeah, we do these every Friday is, we do wins for the week. Why? Because majority of business is losses and lessons learned. So, we need to really uh take advantage of the opportunity to have that positive winning energy and collaborate and collectively come together around those wins, because that will continue to fuel us on the journey of entrepreneurship because we know the reality. So but yeah, thank you so much, Yvonne, for being here, and thanks for the repost. Really appreciate it. And yeah, feel free to jump in here if you have some wins to share for the week. And I would love to go to Jim as well, to check in with Jim. Jim, how's it going?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, doing great. Happy Friday, Jim.
Friday. So yeah, I just closed off the launch, finished another launch. We'll do a Christmas sale, which is not a launch probably, but we'll see. I don't know. So that's probably the last launch of the year. I just wanted to caution people, and I'm no means an expert, by the way. Like, I've only been running this social media business since 2022 as a corporation. So, I mean, we've done pretty good up until this time, going from no money to, almost, I guess, between 30 and 40,000 a month. So we're kind of like in that spot right now. So we've gone through the building process where you build up the revenue, and we tried to keep profit margins high. So sort of we had the end in mind, right? I didn't want to, there's businesses that you run where expenses eat up 80 or 90% of your money. So we just tried to structure it in a way that you have to think about how you want to do the business. So I wanted to work from home. I wanted like very high profit margins. That means it has to have low overhead, low expenses, low capital expenditures, so that we keep like 60 to 70% of the money we pull in, and the only thing we have to pay for is our tech and taxes, basically. So that's how we structured it. One thing that I think, so I'm not really an expert. I just sort of, we're in the beginning of the journey, so the first 3 years. I think we have to keep in mind, and I'm seeing, like, you have to understand what the point of newsletters are. And a lot of people are missing the point. I mean, I hear people talking about ad revenue, this and that. Every platform, like TikTok, YouTube, X, like, people are so happy when they're like, I mean, X used to pay out 98% of ad revenue, right? And then people are happy they're chasing ad revenue. Like, oh, look at the payout, so good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to become a reply guy. I'm going to post like 500 times a day. Like, that's not the goal of the newsletters, to get ad revenue. Ad revenue, if you look at the large creators, only accounts for perhaps 8 to 9% of total revenue. Like, that's not their goal. Their goal isn't to, like, I want to maximize. Nobody ever says I want to maximize ad revenue. It's sort of like they're running their business, selling a product or service, and because they have a following, they get a bit of ad revenue. So the goal of the newsletter or the content on Instagram is not to maximize ad revenue. You're kind of chasing in my opinion, you're chasing the wrong target. You're generating traffic to the business that provides the service and products that they're looking for. That gives you the bulk of your revenue. And then ad revenue is just sort of like icing. So I see people like chasing, and that's why I never got into the whole reply guy and 500 DMs and like, let's like talk to everyone on X. I was like, that's just the wrong game, right? I built my business, increased revenue through the sale and offerings that we offer that provide value to the followers that we get through our social media. We're not using social media to chase ad revenue, right? You can. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business, but it's going to be a faster treadmill. And every platform is the same. They pay 198, 99% of ad revenue, get a lot of people on the platform. That's the business model. Get a ton of people on the platform, get a lot of engagement, get a local ecosystem going, and then cut the ad revenue. That's they all do it. X does it. YouTube does it. TikTok does it. Instagram did it. They're all doing it. All these platforms are just going to get people with ad revenue, give 100% payouts. And then once they get the user base they want, they just cut the ad revenue. And if you don't have a business by then, you're going to have to start from scratch now. I mean, because what happens with ad revenue gone? Like, you don't have a business that sells a product or service that people are buying on a regular basis. So now what? You can jump to chase the next ad revenue play. Company ABC pays out 99%. I'm going to go there now. You're just going to be jumping all over the place without a business. So I think you have to understand the point of the traffic before you go all in on ad revenue, in my opinion. Anyway, that's about it. Sorry, I spoke too long.
Yeah, no, that's a good call out, Jim. So yeah, the way you should be operating a business if you want sustainable growth, right? There's plenty of businesses operating like hobbies, but really what you want is sustainable and predictable growth. That's number one. Number two, how do you do that? Well, you have to have a core product or service offering, right? What is your flagship product or service offering, right? For example, my agency, one of my core product and service offerings is we'll run your ads for you, right? We'll run your paid ads. Why? Because most likely their ads are not performing, they're not converting, or you're not tracking it properly. So that's why they hire me and pay me a lot of money. So that's number one. Number two, ad revenue is just a byproduct. Is just a byproduct, right? It's nothing. It's a bonus. It's a bonus. It's not a business model to chase ad revenue. It's just more of a nice to have bonus byproduct. And so once you have your newsletter and your email list, and that's growing based on your following as you're putting out great content like you do, Jim, then after you start selling your core services, the ad revenue is just a bonus. That's how you should think of it. That's how everyone should operate is, hey, look, to pretend like you're going to get zero ad revenue. So what do? You focus on selling, building relationships, adding value with your core products or services. You get that sustainable growth. And then, oh, as a bonus, oh, I got some ad revenue this month. Awesome. Great. Okay. Next. And just continue building and again, focusing on that sustainable, predictable growth. That's what you want for your business. And that's what investors look for before they invest in businesses. So yeah, good stuff, Jim. Great reminder that it's not a sustainable business model to chase ad revenue. That's a big reminder. So it's just a byproduct. So yeah, thank you for that, Jim. Let's go over to Christelle. Christelle, good morning. How's it going? Happy Friday.
Hi, happy Friday. I'm over here conditioning my hair. I'm going to a Art Basel event, my first one since moving here 6 years ago. I'm finally getting out of the house. Thank God. So maybe I'll take a selfie today, but I had to come up. I heard Jim and that it's okay, this is maybe too early to say this, but it's almost like flirty, this kind of talk, this like newsletter, ad revenue kind of talk, but I don't mean it in any way. But it was just so good. But I couldn't emoji Jim because I'm literally like detangling my hair. But if I could have, I would have been putting up all the 100s, but the thing is the reason I'm excited, and I'm just so glad you're saying this. So two things I want to say. One, the reason I'm excited about this ad revenue thing is that it didn't exist in my world before, and I've been writing newsletters for years. Same thing with Kevin, right? Like we say, it's not passive income if you haven't written a newsletter, because you need to write a newsletter. But if you've already been writing a newsletter, it's really nice to know that brands will offer to sponsor you, just like if you have a social media account and you're growing in influence. So it's a new thing that Beehive is doing, this like new creator newsletter economy, and we're just at the beginning of it. So we're so excited about it. But yes, it's so important for people to understand that there is always a step 1, 2, 3, 4. And I feel like ad revenue monetization really needs to come in the more advanced level. I'm doing a whole 30-day course on this, and I put that at the end because what I want people to understand is that, one, you need an email list. So if you don't even have an email list, you shouldn't even be thinking about ad nothing and chasing revenue on any level is never a good idea, period. So whether it's ad revenue, being on spaces because you want to make money, people feel it. It's never a good look. So that's why I say, and this is the approach that I've used, and so this is the second thing, is I focus on community. It forces me to be more accountable. It forces me to care about the people that I'm creating products for and selling to. I treat my newsletter totally different. I'm writing to my community, so it's a totally different feel. And they're very engaged because it's a community. So if I do happen to do ad revenue and have ads in there, my community is used to opening up my emails and clicking on things. So that's great for someone who's offering to sponsor me, right? You want an engaged email list and community. But these are all the things you have to do first. And in a space like this, you have people that are more advanced, very advanced, right? PhD level. And then you have people that are beginners, but not beginners at life, right? Professionals, but beginners in the newsletter world or the email list world. So everyone just kind of needs to know where they're at and what your next step is. So that's like my big thing, right? That's my big thing for 2026. What's your next step? I'm here to help you understand what your next step is and then go from there. Last thing I'm going to say, and I'm landing, Antonio, Justin, thank you so much for introducing Antonio and also talking about his tool, because I used it yesterday for my newsletter. You all, I got 4 replies on the newsletter within like an hour. They loved it. I've never gotten that many replies in that much time. Okay, so Antonio, whatever you've created here, I need people to know. And Justin knows I'm going to push you to charge people for it fast. So right now he's giving it away as a lead magnet, but I'm like, my guy, it's too good. It's too good. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So thank you, Justin, for bringing these amazing people. Yvonne, so good to see you. Patricia, Will, Jim, as always, Lama Mama, all the awesome people, Kevin, Timo, Andy, much love.
Yeah, much love, and yeah, good luck on closing the client on another 6 month thing. I think that's in the pipeline. So yeah, good luck on that, and yeah, thanks for tapping in. A lot of great share, great share. A lot of good reminders for everyone. And yeah, it's just the ad revenue is more advanced, it's more a byproduct, but just focus on the core stuff first, the foundations, the basics. I did a video yesterday about talking about the basics first. And what are the basics? Well, you gotta make sure you're on the proper newsletter platform that can help you grow. And that's why we're on Beehive, because recommendations, a lot of different things. So that's number one. And number two is you got to have the proper tracking and reporting in place. And, a good metrics to start with is, number of email subscribers. Is that going up or down? And it's hard to, let me tell you, it's not easy to get people to subscribe to your email list. Okay. Like you have to put out a lot of effort. Ask Jim. Okay. Ask Jim how long it took him to get, 50,000 emails. I mean, it's not easy. Okay. It's not an easy game. Look, if it were easy, we'd all be millionaires right now. Okay. But it's not. But that's okay. You want sustainable, predictable growth. And as long as you keep going and you don't stop, like I did, and I made the mistake of doing this, you will just continue to grow. And that's it. Just don't stop. This is why minimum viable action with Will, you get the accountability side on the inner game, you get the sales and marketing mastery here in the outer game, and you're set up for success. And that's it. And then 90 days later, you should start to bring in revenue. Like literally, if you're not bringing in revenue and following the practices of building that we're doing here in 90 days, like there's something off, and you need to come on the space and say, hey, Justin, guys, I've been doing this for 90 days every day, and I'm not bringing in revenue, right? And you need to let us know, because that's an issue. That's an issue. You should be 90 days is that sweet spot. Now, sometimes it may take a little longer. Even with some of the ads that I've run for clients, we didn't start seeing return on investment till month 4. Now I tell them 90 days, and I only work in 90 days. Like I won't take on a client for less than 90 days. Why is that? Because I need time. Like month 1 is setup. Month 1 is setup, tracking, reporting, pixel tracking, fill in the blank, right? That's month 1. Month 2, then we start running ads, right? And literally, this is the framework. There's only 2 types of marketing. There's paid and there's organic. That's it. There's paid and there's organic. It's very simple. So just focus on that 90 days. Sometimes they don't have budget, but they do have a small email list. You can start with there. And I can literally generate some cash for them in a week with their existing email list. Literally. I put together a 4-day cash machine offer sequence, and I start to generate some cash. If no cash comes in, then their list isn't that good and they have to get new people. And these are the core fundamentals here, guys. Client acquisition and client retention. Client acquisition, client retention. That's what every business wants. They need leads, they need to acquire customers, and they need to retain customers. So, yeah. Okay, let's go to Jim and then Yvonne and then Will. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Sorry about that. I had mute. But yes, I was saying awesome commentary with regards to Christelle and yourself, Justin. I can't agree more. One thing I just like to add, like a little nuance, like we do have like 60,000 emails, but you can launch with 1,000. I really recommend you should launch with 1 to 2,000 emails because you'll get 1 to 2%, and that's 10 to 20 customers, right off the bat. And if that's subscription, that's monthly income, right? So if they're paying you $50 and there's 10 of them, that's $500 a month in your first launch, and that'll carry over to the second launch, and it'll just be cumulative. So you can launch right away as soon as you have. We launched with 3,000 emails, right? I have 60,000 now, but we launched with just 3, and it's very hyper responsive. And another thing you have to understand about emails is that not all emails, and you've mentioned this before, Justin, not all emails are created equal. The emails that I have from Instagram and TikTok is different, even though the content is the same. So let's put that aside. So the emails I get from social media are more similar than the ones I would get farming my email accounts, because I did work in corporate for like 20 years, right? So those emails are different than the ones that I'm getting from social media, from say TikTok and Instagram. But even from Instagram and TikTok, they're different because TikTok does have similar demographics, but not exactly the same. So even they will respond differently, although I do lump them together. So you cannot say like because I got emails from this source, that source, and the other source that I could launch, I should get a 1% conversion, because the email sources, they do differ slightly and they respond to different things. Like, for example, if I have an anti-corporate content in TikTok and Instagram, but I have a corporate client base in my emails, then launching an anti-corporate or financial independence type of content will not pull anyone from my corporate. They're not interested in like leaving work. They might be interested in getting promoted or getting a raise, whereas the people in the other pool would be interested in financial education, becoming independent. They're very different. And you could completely mix up the list, launch, and you'll get lower than 1% because the list is just not homogenous enough. Does that make sense? Anyway, that's about it. Thanks.
Yeah, let me expand on that for real quickly, and then we'll go to Yvonne and then Will. Thank you for that point, Jim. So you really have to pay attention to, there's 2 types of prospects, okay? There's browsers and there's buyers. Okay, there's browsers and there's buyers. So you're going to run across a lot of browsers. And if you can ideally track, this is why, Beehive is really good, because you can track the source of where the subscriber came from. And any CRM should be able to do this. But the point is you want to make sure you know and understand the source of that email address. This is absolutely critical, because here's what you'll find out. You'll find out that there's a pattern and a trend with buyers compared to non-buyers. You'll see, wow, those people that I'm getting from TikTok are buying my stuff more than people than Instagram, or vice versa. Oh, LinkedIn. Hey, it's more costly to run ads there, but guess what? Those people spend more money, right? So these are the types of things you look out for in the data. You want to look at pattern recognition, pay attention to where the source came from of the lead of the email address, and do more of what's working and moving the needle more and less of what's not working. And so, yeah, really critical point that Jim made. Not all emails are created equally. Not all platforms are created equally. And there's a lot of, business people on X now, and it's growing, and that's great. But yeah, I mean, even local newsletters, I've seen plenty of people on this platform that are dominating building local email lists and then getting sponsors. And, that's huge. If you can get a brand deal or a sponsorship for your newsletter more than ad revenue, that's preferred. But you got to have, and the data talks, right? This is why I love dealing with people that are emotional, because data doesn't have emotions. Okay. I present the data. I have no emotion in the game here. I lead with data first. I'm a data-driven marketer. The data could care less about your feelings. So I have to get real talk with people and let them know the facts of why their business is not functioning, it's not growing, because I lead with data. And it's tough conversations, but if they want to build a sustainable business, they have to have the tough conversations and make the adjustments. Otherwise, they're not going to be in business. They have a hobby, right? And I'm not in the business of working with hobbyists. I'm in the business of working with people that want to grow, right? I'm a growth marketer, right? I'm a growth partner for them. I'm a growth partner for you guys, right? This is why we're all showing up every single day, because we want to grow. We want to bring in more revenue. We want to build our email list. We want to have a sustainable business. So in 5 years, we have the option. Oh, look, I choose to work. I don't have to work like Jim. He chooses to be here. He doesn't have to be here. We want to be able to have that. That's the ultimate flex to me. It's not a watch. It's not a car. It's being able to choose what I do with my time and not have to work. That's why I'm here every day. Having that control over my own life. That's the ultimate flex for me. So let's go over to Yvonne.
Ooh, I love it, Justin. That is so freaking true, man. Financial freedom, that's what it gives you, right? Among many other things. I love how you mentioned that about the data, because I had something else that I wanted to mention in regards to the newsletters. But then when you mentioned that about the data, I'll just top it off with this. It kind of, in the entertainment industry, in the entertainment world, this is something that I encountered a lot and had to learn myself kind of the hard way, is that a lot of people who want to be actors or want to be in entertainment, it's very emotionally driven. And you have this even with entrepreneurs, right? When they start a particular product, but a lot of actors don't realize that you are an entrepreneur. You are, pitching your own business. Like, you are the product, right? We hear that all the time until they start thinking of it in that capacity. And what you have to do a lot of times, and I thank God, one of the greatest things that I did was going to film school, because I wanted to be a smarter actor. I wanted to learn what everything on set was. It's so kind of can be so overwhelming with all the lights and all this stuff going on. And I was like, I want to be able to sit down with freaking Martin Scorsese, who is a beast at filmmaking and knows so many things about it, and a film historian, and be able to talk about all that stuff and not just be the actor that shows up just working for the job. And one of the things that I discovered is you have to, as an actor, same as like you said with the data, you have to think like a producer. So sometimes you have to click into this other part of your brain, which is the same thing you have to do as an entrepreneur. You have to have the product and separate yourself from the product and think to yourself, is this really marketable? Do I really have a market for this, right? Sometimes people get emotionally attached. We see this on Shark Tank all the time. They get emotionally attached to the product because it's something that they themselves are so passionate about or put all this time, energy, and effort in, when they don't even know if there's a market for it. Just because you love it doesn't mean that, the world's going to love it. Doesn't mean that you're going to be able to sell it. And it kind of comes into that whole thing where I consider it, where I click into my producer brain. Yes, I might love this part, or yes, I might think that I want this particular part, but am I going to be able to make money on this film? Because that's what the producers and the studios are thinking about. But to caveat in that, in regards to newsletters, like, one of the things that I'm working towards, and this is just a little backstory, I promise it'll be fast, but it definitely definitely is poignant, is that when I had a friend of mine who's also an actor, and when I first went to Comic-Con, and that's where I actually got to interview Guillermo del Toro for the first time, which was amazing. I was actually doing the camera work for her. So she freelanced and did free. A lot of actors do so many things for free, you guys. That's why I'm such an advocate for being an entrepreneur. And she wrote for this particular website that was like a news website, kind of like entertainment news and stuff like that. And this woman who lived in New York, and she had built this site up, had a lot of subscribers. I think she had like 90 to 100,000 subscribers, right? And I didn't know anything about this stuff then, you guys. And my friend had a press pass because she was writing articles, so she had to go down to Comic-Con, and we went to some of these VIP private events and everything because she needed to be able to report and write articles and stuff and do interviews on the things that were happening at that particular time. And I was down there basically to do the camera work for her. That's why I look terrible. My personal pity, I look terrible in that Guillermo del Toro picture because I was like, I'm just behind the scenes doing camera work. I don't give a damn what my appearance looks like, right? That's why you always got to be ready. You never know when opportunity is going to strike. But when we were sitting there at the table, me knowing his work so much, and I obviously prepared for that, and I knew so much about how he does his lighting and his camera and all this kind of stuff, and he's very stylized and specialized and very specific with his directing with that. I knew questions that she didn't know to ask when I was there, right? So that's how I got the opportunity. And he loved that I asked him that question because I knew so much about what he was talking about with my cinematographer background. It was such an awesome thing. But my point to all this, going back to the newsletters, is because I asked her, because I thought to myself, well, how can I, without, having to, even though I loved helping her and doing it because I loved doing camera work, I was like, how did I asked her, I said, how did she get the press pass to be able to go to these VIP events? Because right off the bat, I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm going to figure that out and I'm going to do it, right? That's what those of us in these spaces who are entrepreneurs, that's what we're doing, right? And that's how we think. And it turns out, she said, well, she has over 100,000 subscribers to her online newsletter and to her website. So because she had that many subscribers, she was able to get a press pass to go to some of these VIP events. Now you think about that. Monetization isn't only a one-way street. Those are other things that can be opportunities where you can network with other people if you had something like that. But then also, it also creates additional content for you that you can put out that you wouldn't have had before, interviewing some of these other people. And it has this kind of compound interest effect, but it also helps you get more reach, expand, and build your newsletter even more. And it can create a window of opportunity, even for like speaking events or something like that. So I just had to mention that because you sparked that in there, and I hadn't thought about sharing that before, but it really is true. It's not only just about the products that you're selling there or advertising and things like that. It's also about opportunities that it can create for you to get you in the door and create even bigger opportunities.
Yeah, great point. Like there's return on influence, right? There's return on investment, but there's return on influence. And if somebody takes the time to do their due diligence and just look at some basics, and they recognize like, oh wow, like yeah, we better get Justin as a speaker because he's got quite a bit of following, he's building something here, like people pay attention to these things, right? So if they're sharp, right? Let me just say that if they're sharp, but the point is like we all have influence, and there's continues to be a trend in the data that micro influencers, micro communities, and these micro payments. I've talked about it. You guys have heard me mention it like probably a year ago, but this continues to be a trend because those are the people, that are moving the needle now with ad dollars and brand deals. There was a gentleman we were talking to the other night here on X when we did a pop-up. He spends 100 grand a month on influencer marketing, $100,000 a month on influencer marketing. And I asked him, I was like, because he was asking me like, hey, how can we use AI to do this smarter? And I told him, well, the only way that I know that worked when I did it was when I worked at a consumer hair care brand, is I built relationships with the Instagram influencers. This was many years ago. I built relationships with the influencers on Instagram, but it took me 6 months to 8 months to finally get the return on investment of all that 8 months of time it took me. So think about it. I had to do the outreach. I had to send the emails. I had to do the phone calls. I had to send them the product. I had to follow up. I had to follow through. I had to follow up. I had to follow up. I had to follow up. I had to get it scheduled. And then guess what? 8 months later, I had all 10 influencers posting about our hair products. And guess what? I generated an extra, 40, 50K that month in sales because of all that 8 months of hard work. And I told him this, and he's like, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. It's the same way, but they want to try to automate it. You can't scale the unscalable. Okay, let me just share with you. Breaking news. You cannot scale the unscalable. This is really important. This is really important because all these CEOs and companies, they want to just hit a magic button and generate, millions of dollars. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have to build up momentum for months, years sometimes, to achieve that type of growth and sales and revenue. You can't fast track the relationship. You can't do it. You can't fast track trust. It's not going to happen. People are buying smarter now. So that's just the reality. We would all love that for that to happen, but that's not the way it works. That's not the way people buy. And look, we can do all this we want, but to Yvonne's point, everything comes down to the market. The market dictates everything. And this is why you need to launch more frequently and test things to see what's moving the needle. And guess what? You're going to test and you're going to learn. You're going to test and you're going to learn and you're going to learn. You're going to learn. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. You're going to learn. You're going to learn again. You're going to learn again. And then guess what? Something hits. Okay, wow. And why does it hit? It's because you have all four of these components. Number one, you have the right targeting. Number two, you have the right ad copy or copy. Number three, you have the right creative. And number four, you have the right offer. When all four of those things line up, boom, you get the revenue. You get the sale. So yeah, great points, Yvonne. Really appreciate the share. Let's jump over to Will, and then we'll go to Timo.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, Yvonne, I was just writing down some notes. I loved it. Amazing stuff as always. And like, Justin, I want to just circle back to something you said earlier on when we had Jim here on the stage about emotions, right? Because this is a distinction that I've made recently, and I've shared it on the newsletter and the YouTube and everything like that. But I wanted to say it here as well. And Trish is going to be rolling her eyes because she hears this almost every day. But like, emotions are weather and identity is climate. What do I mean by this? So emotions roll in and roll out. Emotions are a 60 to 90 second neurological transmitter in the body. And yet so many people make decisions based on those emotions. So when you understand that who you are being is somebody experiencing an emotion, you are not the emotion. I said this last week on the space. I feel the fear, but I am not afraid. That will allow you to make way more clear-headed level decisions in your business, because you're right. A lot of people tie their self-worth to the business outcome because they're unable to do that, unable to separate the emotion from the outcome, from the self. And this is a skill that can be practiced. And when it's practiced, you become unshakable, right? That's where the name came from. So the other thing I wanted to say as well, Justin, is you mentioned earlier on that if you make no revenue in 90 days, come back to the space. I would actually say as well, for anyone who is signing up to our program, we do a weekly check-in on revenue in the mastermind side of things. So you won't get that. Like, we do how are you going to make $1,000 next week? Can't do that. How are you going to make $500 next week? Can't do that. How are you going to make $1 next week? And if you can't do that, go back and fix the business. So there is no time where there is no opportunity for revenue. We just don't let that happen. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add is 90 days with not revenue is not a thing that happens if you are locked in and aware. And again, as you said, it's all testing, right? And I want to just give real-time example. Like, I joined Andy's space last night. I'll be going back tonight for branding help. Because yeah, there are things that I could be doing better. And it's about actively becoming aware of the weaknesses and pursuing them and being like, okay, great. Let me try. Let me fail. Let me try again. Let me fail again. And all of a sudden, bam, that worked. As an example, Andy, I advertised to a community of 2,300 this morning and I got 9 signups. based on what you said to making it simpler, which is the highest return I've got on a post. So thank you. It's working.
Yeah, go ahead and respond. Congrats, Will. Andy, you want to respond to Will? And then we'll go to Timo. Okay, he's probably busy. But yeah, good stuff, Will. Yeah, look, you cannot fail if you're in an environment of, the daily action, the minimum viable action that Will has set up for you on the accountability side, and then with me on the sales and marketing side, like you cannot fail. You cannot fail. And look, I think Will had one of his community members bring in revenue in like a week or two, right? I think, Will, can you validate that?
Oh, we've had basically I'll give you guys a little sneak peek for what's coming next year, Justin, if you don't mind. But we're doing a first to get ROI on the product and a greatest ROI over the 3 months. And the reason is we want to make it visible, right? So yes, when a person comes to me, like for right now, my community is $47 a month. Getting ROI on that is very easy. You get ROI on that if you don't miss 1 hour that you otherwise would have missed in your work. But we've had people come through and be like, hey, because I stayed congruent and did this every single day, I built up momentum and boom, got a client. We see this a lot. So the idea is behind this, and like Andy said something really interesting to me yesterday, it's more about taking away the things and adding the things. So when you're a business owner, we look at the things that take you away from that state of generating revenue, right? Serving your clients. And we remove as many of those as possible. Missed days, those hours where you ghost on yourself because you feel overwhelmed. We provide structure to remove those. And then the revenue is the natural byproduct, because if you're serving people and you're genuinely solving problems, then how could you not? If we start taking away everything that's keeping you from that. And I'll add this, Justin, because I do have to run in a second, but I said this to somebody this morning. Instead of trying to be consistent, make inconsistency impossible. And that's a big difference. Make inconsistency impossible, and then provided you're heading in the right direction, solving a problem that the market actually wants solved, you really can't fail.
Yeah, I love that. Make inconsistency impossible. I love the reframe there. And yeah.
Hey, can I add to that?
Yeah, go for it.
It's a mathematical calculation. Okay, so if you have more stuff and you add more things, you divide it by the things you have to accommodate or your expenses. So let's just use revenue over expenses. It's so much easier to add more than it is to take away. However, if you go from 1,000 over 100, you keep 900 of it. But if you the calculation, right? If you have 100 things you have to manage and then you gain 1,000 more, I'm doing such a bad job at this, but the point is, if you can reduce the bottom number of the equation to 1 instead of from 100 down to 1, in other words, if you're only having to manage one piece instead of 100 pieces to do your fulfillment, you can do so much more and so much more efficiently and so much faster, because whatever number's on the top is a direct bottom line input. And so taking away the extra, removing the extra pieces, right? Removing all the other stuff has a much more, it has an amplified and a multiple effect to you, your personal life, and your business. The number one profitable restaurant in the United States is called Cane's, Canes, Cane's. And they sell, here's what they sell, ready? They sell chicken fingers and a sandwich, which is bread with chicken fingers in it, and French fries and soft drinks and sweet tea. So you can get chicken fingers and coleslaw. Well, they sell coleslaw, but okay, chicken fingers, coleslaw, and French fries, and pick your drink, soft drink or iced tea. That's it. 4 items. They added a sandwich, which is just bread on top of the chicken fingers. They don't sell milkshakes. They don't sell desserts. They don't sell anything else. 4 or 5 items. And they can focus all their effort on those, becoming the very, very best at those few items and selling them to as many people as possible. And so they have a highly optimized drive-through, which, by the way, their drive-through in the United States is a big deal, but they have 2 lanes for their drive-through, not one. Most companies have 1 lane through the drive-through. They have 2. They have 2 all the way through the whole thing, right? So you can order on one side and get food, order in the second lane, order, drive, get food, and they just deliver to multiple lines. It's like it's the most efficient thing. But the point I was trying to make with to amplify what Will was saying is that all of the information and all the things that you're doing, whatever people are buying, do more of that. Whatever you think works, if nobody buys it, it doesn't work. And your audience is the key. The consumer, it doesn't care if you're having a good day or a bad day, if it was a tragedy or if it was the best day in your life, you just bought a new Porsche. Nobody cares. The only thing they care about is solving their own problem. We're all just selfish people, and that's okay. But we selfishly want to get our problems fixed, and we are selfishly willing to spend our money to fix our own problems. And that's the way it is. So we can help people down the journey of becoming something new if they want to go there. And if they don't want to go there, there is nothing I can do to push them. And if I do push them and I drive that and they are scared to death of me and they behave in the way because they're afraid of me, as soon as the fear goes away, they go back to their normal life. So what people want is what they'll buy. Get in the stream of where the fish are. Don't go try to build a pond and put fish in it so you can go fishing. That's a fool's errand. Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, good stuff, Andy. Yeah, like, look, and this is why you got to be serious about your own success. And your behaviors are indicators of how serious you are. Okay, there's people and prospects I talk to all the time. Hey, are you really serious about growing your business? Yeah, I'm serious. Okay, and then we start working together, and no, they're not serious. They're not serious. They said they were, but what they do is completely different than what they told me. Okay, so the point is, if you're serious, you got to commit and you got to do the work. Or if they want to, and this is why I don't really do like done with you programs anymore, because in my experience, all the work ends up coming on me and my team anyways. So now it's just, we'll do it for you or you do it yourself and I advise you. That's it. Like I won't even touch the mouse pad, the mouse keys, the computer. I'm advising you. I'm not, you want me to do the work? Okay, that's $600 an hour, right? That's $600 an hour. Inspired by Kevin because he upped his rate, so I had to up my rate. That's how we do it here. That's how we do it. Yeah. It's coopetition. We're not competitive. It's coopetition. But yeah, that's how it works, guys. Like you got to work with committed people, serious people. You got to look out for those. Those are the types of people you want who are committed, who are serious. And then, do and this is why this is absolutely critical. And Yvonne hit on a little bit, and I know Will has to go, but I'll just round it out with this. There's people that are really good at their craft, right? They're an actor, actress, right? Or they're really good at writing, but they're not good business people. They're not good at sales. They're not good business people. So those types of people, what you have to do is you really have to mentor them and you have to sit down with them and you have to show them the way and get them to do one minimum viable action. To Will's point, you just get them doing one thing every day for 30 days, for 90 days, and then they will get the transformation. Otherwise, just charge them a heck of a lot of money and do it for them. Those are the only two options. So take your choice. And I love working with high ticket. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really going to be focusing more on a high ticket because um, I love the revenue running community. It's a big part of my heart. And I want us all to win. I want us all to win. And so just keep showing up here, guys. And please take a poll. I asked you know, if you're a Ronin, what time would you like the Ronin Ask Me Anything office hours? Because any Ronin that signed up as a bonus will get access to the monthly Q&A with, you know, the Revenue Ronin myself. So one call a month. And then the second poll, if you can take, is how valuable if you could put a price on these spaces. Under $50, over $50, over 100, or over 500. Let me know. I want to know the feedback. So, all right, Will, did you want to say final word before we go to Patricia and Timo?
I wanted to just say that based on what you just said, adding serious to filter, right? Because there's a part of our brain that, I'll keep it real simple, right? There's a part of us that fears narrowing the pool that we fish in. And I'm just going to put in the chat the advert I used this morning. And I'll give you the quality of the people coming to me still to be determined, because I might have to do that after this. But I said, are you serious about growing your business but can't stay steady under pressure? By the way, Andy, I thought about what you said yesterday, and that's the simplest way I can put it. Can't stay steady under pressure. Then our community, our solution exists to fix that. So you can see it's in the chat right now. And then I made a little 30-second video just explaining it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. John Assaraf, who you guys might know, he said, you're either interested or you're committed, right? If you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. But if you're committed, you'll do what it takes. And that shift in internal game, that shift in mindset is the difference. Because if you're committed, if it's who you are, if it's your identity, as I like to say, you will find a way. Oh, that didn't work? Cool. Okay, learned, move on, do something else, because it's who I am. I am that person. But if you're interested, it's like, oh, I'd like to be that. And I'll give you just one quick example to finish with. For anyone who doesn't know who Alan Carr is, he helped more people quit smoking than anything else. He wrote the Easy Peasy Guide to Quit Smoking. And the big breakthrough that he made, which was so powerful and why his success rates were incredible, they were 10 times others, was he got people to go from I'm trying to quit smoking to I'm a non-smoker. It's as simple as that. And what that does is a non-smoker doesn't smoke. It just doesn't happen. And when they identify, when their identity is that, the behavior becomes congruent. So if somebody's saying, I'm trying to be an entrepreneur, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. If somebody says, oh, I'm thinking about starting a business, you're not. You're being somebody who doesn't have a business. That's a hobby. That's interest. You'll do what's convenient. This is how your brain is wired. But if you say, I am a business owner, I am, use that. That is, again, God's name. You know, I love me some religion in the context of the lesson. But I am is the name of God. That is reason. That is why it's so powerful. I am your chosen identity. Even if it's not physically in your environment, your brain is listening to you and what you say is true. So I am a business owner. Now you are serious. Now you are committed. And now your behavior needs to make it congruent. And that is why we do MBAs every day. To prove your egoic mind that is who you are, not who you want to be. Because if you keep it in the future, it will remain in the future. You've got to make it now who you are. And that's when you'll commit. And that's when you'll get the results.
Yeah, brilliant, Will. Thanks, man. Great final word here. Yeah, it's all comes down to commitment. And John Assaraf, I've worked with him. I know him very well. He's local here in San Diego, so I know him very well. So awesome. Well, thank you, Will, so much. Great stuff as usual. You're gonna see more stuff from Will and the Unshakable Entrepreneurs and the Revenue Ronin and the Startup Circle stuff. So yeah, get ready, guys. Buckle up. So it's gonna be a fun December. Okay, let's go over to Patricia for 1 minute, and then I gotta go to Timo, and then Andy for final word, and then we're gonna close out. Okay, thanks, guys. Just keep it to like 1 minute if you don't mind. Thank you.
No problem. I was gonna say, Will, I'm never rolling my eyes when you say it. I might laugh a little bit, but generally, anytime I hear you say something, I just take it back on board because I figure the more I hear it, the more it's gonna soak in. So don't think I'm ever over here rolling my eyes at you. I might be laughing, but I'm not rolling my eyes.
And I'll just respond real quick to say, We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. So I'll never stop saying it because there's always somebody that needs to hear it.
Right. And even if it's somebody who's taken it on very well, sometimes we just need that friendly little reminder at a particular moment. So, but yeah, I'm yeah, that was basically it. He was calling me out a little bit, so I had to say, I never roll my eyes at him. I just take it on board and go with it. Justin, don't forget to connect with me, because I definitely want to get hooked in for what's coming in January. And I do think that in some cases, it's going to take longer than 3 months to see impact, but okay, you just go with it. You keep up that momentum, right? I mean, one of my mentors saw such a big difference in me just from the last couple of weeks. She's like, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, let's keep at it. Now, that was a different one than I had the meeting with, but still, the fact that people are starting to see differences, I mean, it tells me to keep going. So.
Yeah, you're doing the work, Patricia, and it shows, and other people will recognize that. So yeah, just keep it up. So yeah, thank you, Patricia. Yeah, we'll definitely be myself, will be holding you accountable to what we're doing. So stay tuned for that, everyone, and Patricia. And yeah, much love. Happy Friday. Let's go to final word to Yvonne and then Timo and then Andy. And just keep it to like a minute if you can, guys, because I got to wrap up. I got to prepare for some meetings. My calendar's filling up, which is great. I didn't share my wins, but I'll just say, look, we're getting some good wins, guys. Closing deals, booking appointments, getting client transformations, bringing in more revenue, signing more year deals. Like, it's all good stuff. So, okay. All right. Yvonne, over to you. Final word.
Oh my goodness. I'll just double down on what Will said. I freaking love when you're in spaces, brother, because even though I know all this stuff, it does, like you said, I still need to be reminded. We all need to be reminded. It is a practice, right? On a regular basis. I felt like you took us to entrepreneur church for a second there. I just want to double down and say, when you say, in the present, because that is so important, right? Who are you, right? Who are you thinking that you are inside yourself? And that is the most powerful thing that you can do on your journey before even you do anything else. And say it in the present tense. And I'll just add, and you can even personalize and say something like, and instead of just I am a business owner, I am a successful business owner, I'm a successful badass business owner, I am a brilliant multimillionaire business owner, or something like that. Like, personalize it for yourself, something that gets you super energized. I just had to double down on that because it's just golden.
Awesome. Thank you, Yvonne, for being here. Always a pleasure to have your energy in the space. And yeah, sending a lot of love to you today and for the weekend and everyone else as well. And I can't tell you how many conversations myself and Andy have had on the back channel. You know, I appreciate Andy's friendship so much where, he has to remind me and, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, Andy. And this is what's difference between a mastermind group and just like your standard space. Like, we will hold you to another standard here. Okay, you will level up your game because why? Because we're going to hold you accountable and we're going to call you out with love, right? This is what people do when, true friendship is telling you not what you want to hear, it's what you need to hear. And that's what it's all about here, guys. So thank you again, Yvonne. Okay, final word, Timo, over to you. Then we'll go to Andy, and then I'll close us out. Okay, Timo, over to you, brother.
This is a new record, 40 minutes with my hands up as a co-host. So many things that I was supposed to say, but with a 1 minute to go, forget about it. Segment your emails, what Jim was talking. Don't be a moron. If your emails has a button that can turn your ads into money, why not push it? But that's not your entire revenue, just like it was discussed. As for Yvonne, I think she had one of the most powerful talks on this space. The fact of the matter is that we're surrounded by all kinds of circumstances We cannot choose. We cannot choose our parents. We cannot choose the weather. We cannot choose our teachers. We cannot choose this and that. We have pretty much quite close to zero power over things. But what we have, the little thing that we have, is the influence and the connections with people. So the good old network is your net worth kind of stuff. But if you look at the crowd that usually loiters around in this space, not many come up, not many ask questions, not many send us DMs who have already kind of made it or have something actually super highly valuable to say. I see a lot of people following, but they're not doing much on the connection side, on building their network. Name me a single highly successful entrepreneur that doesn't have any connections. It is all about building those connections and building that network. And I mean, look at this space. There's so many back channel things going on. There's so many plans and things cooking already with the speakers. Mostly the speakers on this, and some of the listeners too. But a lot of people just hang out. There's nothing wrong. You can learn stuff, but in order to actually execute, you do have to push the buttons and start doing things. Most importantly, connect with the people who are already doing it. Please do it. That's going to be a win. Whatever you do, build your back channel networks with the people who are already winning in the space that you're kind of looking to go into. My win, got through the week, good stuff, made some money. Newsletter is doing great. 4 figures for November. I don't complain, even though it's not my main business. So yeah, hey, let's get on with the weekend and crush it even more.
Let's go, Timo. Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, congrats on a great week. And I know your arm was tired there, but yeah, great reminder for all of us that, look, don't be the victim of your circumstance. Be the victor of your next big move. That's my final quote there. So so thank you for that reminder, Timo. All right, Andy, final word over to you, and then I got to close out.
One sin you're waiting for is that you're waiting for inspiration, and what you should do is build a system. If you have a system, your actions will overcome all the other things. Action and repetitions overcome luck. Systems overcome inspiration and motivation, and the grind is worth it. No matter what you're grinding towards, nobody succeeded on the first moment. Nobody was born and could speak perfectly whatever language is your mother tongue, or all multiple languages. Nobody ever was born and could walk or could run or jump over anything. It takes time. That is true for every single skill you possess. Now, you may be able to amplify things that you've already done, but don't wait for inspiration. Do not rely on motivation or your feelings. Build a system. Be consistent to yourself. And the more you move, the better chance you have of being successful. That's just the way it is. So I encourage you all to take action, right? Post the thing you want to talk about. Think about it. Say it. Somebody doesn't like it? Okay, debate with them. Engage. Create. Maybe you're wrong. Fine. Adjust. Move on. Nobody's perfect. Keep going. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate you for all these spaces.
Yeah, appreciate you, Andy. Yeah, go ahead, Timo.
Is that product the brand, your brand analyzer thing that you have on? Is that the one that you did with the Zoom call after the webinar?
Yes.
Okay, guys, take it. It's a steal. It's $10. So go on to Andy's newsletter and get his offer. Come on.
Yeah, it's if you need a brand audit, if you want to build a personal brand, it's like losing weight. You got to figure out where you are and then figure out what you need to change. And thank you, Timo. If you sign up for my newsletter, it's the link it's the only link I have now in any of my platforms. Click on the brand blueprint engine, and you can buy the offer, $10. I'll get you a brand audit, and it's very comprehensive. Scores you from 1 to 100 on about 25 categories, and it takes like 10 minutes to run. It's pretty awesome. So if you want it, thank you, and thank you, Timo. Appreciate that. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And
I couldn't believe it. Just like the Ronin deal for $20 is just like a steal. So there's two steal deals on this speaker panel right now. Go and get them before they go up.
yes, please, and we'll send Timo his commission. So yes, guys, please take advantage of these low prices right now because 2026 the price is going up. Okay, so take advantage now. $20 a month, Andy's blueprint system. I mean, just take advantage of these opportunities. It's only going to get more expensive here. Look, there's a 5-year plan. We're 2 years into it. Okay, so stick with us, invest in yourself, invest in systems, invest in community, accountability, access. That's what you're investing in. Priority access. Membership has benefits. Okay. So thank you for that reminder, Timo. I'll send you the commission. And listen, guys, I gotta share some great news with everyone. And make sure you take the polls, please, that I put in the purple pill. Please, please, please take the polls. Sign up for my newsletter if you're not already on it. Would really appreciate it. Make sure you sign up. I'm dropping 2 emails a week with actionable strategies and tactics to move the needle and move your bank account in the positive direction. Okay, so take advantage of it. It's a free newsletter. Okay, and I have some great news to share. I've been recording this Zoom. I've been recording my Zoom on my laptop. So I'm going to have the transcript here and the recording, which I'll put it on YouTube. I'll put it on Spotify that I've been doing lately. And so we will have a recording of this, not only for X Spaces, but also for other platforms as well. So if you've been on stage, you're going to be, put on a podcast. So yeah, good stuff there. And this is how I take the transcript from Zoom and then I create all my content. That's what I do. I take the transcript, I create all the content for my newsletter, my blog, my social media posts, my YouTube, my Spotify, everything. That's how you do it. So and use Andy's system that he has to do the audit for you, and then get your seed file and make that investment in yourself and make that investment with Andy. Um, I gotta send you a couple bucks too, Andy. So, all right, perfect. All right, guys, just remember at the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves 4 simple questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And did I make a difference? Until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, but most importantly, build that legacy. So stay hungry and stay humble. We'll see you guys at the top. And you want to keep growing, check out the Revenue Ronin. $20 a month. I mean, you can't beat it. It's a steal. Get in while you can before the prices go up. Take advantage of it now. This opportunity is ending December 31st, so take advantage of it now and make it a productive, but most importantly, profitable day. And we'll see you back on Monday. Have a great weekend. We may do a pop-up space Saturday, Sunday, who knows? I always like to do pop-up bonuses once in a while. But it's been a really great one for the books here, and I really appreciate everyone contributing to the conversation. All right, guys, much love. We'll see you on the next one.